Proverbs 17. Better is a dry morsel with quietness than a house full of feasting on offered sacrifices with strife. A wise servant shall have rule over a son who causes shame, and shall share in the inheritance among the brothers. The refining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tries the hearts. An evildoer gives heed to wicked lips, and a liar listens to a mischievous tongue. Whoever mocks the poor reproaches his Maker, and he who is glad at calamity shall not be held innocent or go unpunished. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children is their fathers. Fine or arrogant speech does not befit an empty-headed fool, much less do lying lips befit a prince. A bribe is like a bright precious stone that dazzles the eyes and affects the mind of him who gives it, as if by magic he prospers, whichever way he turns. He who covers and forgives an offence seeks love, but he who repeats or harps on a matter separates even close friends. A reproof enters deeper into a man of understanding than 100 lashes into a self-confident fool. An evil man seeks only rebellion, therefore a stern and pitiless messenger shall be sent against him. Let the brute ferocity of a bear, robbed of her whelps, meet a man rather than a self-confident fool in his folly when he is in a rage. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house. The beginning of strife is as when water first trickles from a crack in a dam. Therefore, stop contention before it becomes worse and quarrelling breaks out. He who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the righteous are both an abomination, exceedingly disgusting and hateful to the Lord. Of what use is money in the hand of a self-confident fool to buy skilful and godly wisdom, when he has no understanding or heart for it? A friend loves at all times and is born, as is a brother, for adversity. A man void of good sense gives a pledge and becomes security for another in the presence of his neighbour. He who loves strife and is quarrelsome loves transgression and involves himself in guilt. He who raises high his gateway and is boastful and arrogant invites destruction. He who has a wayward and crooked mind finds no good, and he who has a wilful and contrary tongue will fall into calamity. He who becomes the parent of a self-confident fool does it to his sorrow, and the father of an empty-headed fool has no joy in him. A happy heart is good medicine, and a cheerful mind works healing, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. A wicked man receives a bribe out of the bosom pocket to pervert the ways of justice. A man of understanding sets skilful and godly wisdom before his face, but the eyes of a self-confident fool are on the ends of the earth. A self-confident and foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her who bore him. Also to punish or fine the righteous is not good, nor to smite the noble for their uprightness. He who has knowledge spares his words, and a man of understanding has a cool spirit. Even a fool, when he holds his peace, is considered wise. When he closes his lips, he is esteemed a man of understanding. Proverbs 18. He who wilfully separates and estranges himself from God and man seeks his own desire and pretext to break out against all wise and sound judgment. A self-confident fool has no delight in understanding, but only in revealing his personal opinions and himself. When the wicked comes in to the depth of evil, he becomes a contemptuous despiser of all that is pure and good, and with inner baseness comes outer shame and reproach. The words of a discreet and wise man's mouth are like deep waters, plenteous and difficult to fathom. And the fountain of skilful and godly wisdom is like a gushing stream, sparkling, fresh, pure, and life-giving. To respect the person of the wicked and be partial to him, so as to deprive the consistently righteous of justice, is not good. A self-confident fool's lips bring contention, and his mouth invites a beating. A self-confident fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are a snare to himself. The words of a whisperer or talebearer are as dainty morsels. They go down into the innermost parts of the body. He who is loose and slack in his work is brother to him who is a destroyer, and he who does not use his endeavours to heal himself is brother to him who commits suicide. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The consistently righteous man, upright and in right standing with God, runs into it and is safe, high above evil and strong. The rich man's wealth is his strong city, and as a high protecting wall in his own imagination and conceit. Haughtiness comes before disaster, but humility before honour. He who answers a matter before he hears the facts, it is folly and shame to him. The strong spirit of a man sustains him in bodily pain or trouble, but a weak and broken spirit who can raise up or bear? The mind of the prudent is ever getting knowledge, and the ear of the wise is ever seeking, inquiring for, and craving knowledge. A man's gift makes room for him, and brings him before great men. He who states his case first seems right, until his rival comes and cross-examines him. To cast lots puts an end to disputes, and decides between powerful contenders. A brother offended is harder to be won over than a strong city, and their contentions separate them like the bars of a castle. A man's moral self shall be filled with the fruit of his mouth, and with the consequences of his words he must be satisfied, whether good or evil. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they who indulge in it shall eat the fruit of it, for death or life. He who finds a true wife finds a good thing, and obtains favour from the Lord. The poor man uses entreaties, but the rich answers roughly. The man of many friends, a friend of all the world, will prove himself a bad friend, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother.